Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Unfiltered with Bridget
and Angie.
And I almost forgot my name there for a minute.
It's okay. It's been one of those days.
Today we're going to be doing something a little different.
Yeah, we're going to put things a little bit more into perspective.
Correct.
I think. So we're going to try and help show affordability, I guess, or price points, or whatever you want to call them. Yeah,
right. So I'm going to talk about one of the houses I currently have listed, and that's here in Beaver Dam. It is 206 4th Street. It is a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, fenced in yard. The square footage is 1,253. The updates in this house are amazing.
It's so cute.
It is.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of love in that house.
Yeah. They put some thought into the upgrades that they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the pricing on it, I think, is spot on. It was perfect. And I think it's affordable.
I agree.
Because right now we're seeing, a lot of first-time home buyers or buyers that can't go above 200, 250. So this house falls right in between where they can afford.
Most first-time home buyers are under 250.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and I know that, the market has slowed a little bit with it being August.
Mm-hmm.
Last minute family trips, vacations, fair season, getting ready for school.
Oh, yeah, it is fair season. Yeah,
it is.
All the fairs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I know that buying a home isn't at the top of your radar, but I honestly think it's a great time to buy.
I agree because, again, most people are fizzling out a little bit on their demand to shop around. So unless you're planning on moving school districts, there really is a wrong time to buy. Unless you're buying outside the school district to do, do school. So I can see why that will be a little bit more time sensitive. You don't want to stop or start a new school in the middle of the school year kind of thing. But if you're in the Beaver Dam area and your kids already go to school in Beaver Dam, there really isn't. Now could be a really great time to buy because you have a few more options. It
Correct.
Seems like, and homes that seem to be, affordable. We don't have a lot of houses that are, above and beyond most people's. We have a wide range, I should say.
We do.
But there seem to be a couple more affordability options out there that we didn't have before.
Correct. And we're not seeing, at least right now, really overbidding or bidding wars.
Yeah.
If a house is, normally I say if a house is priced just right for its condition, it goes quick with bidding wars. Things have slowed, although it is August. It happens every year.
Yeah.
The only time you're going to see right now is bidding wars is when you're playing in the investor pool. Anything below 200 is going to go quick and over asking.
And in cash.
Correct. So, first-time home buyers really can't compete, or anybody that is on a budget. So
right.
We are going to talk some numbers today, and we'll show the pictures of the property.
Mm-hmm. And we have a website created too.
Yep.
That we'll have posted as well. That kind of shows you literally everything. It'll also go over the payment options we are going to discuss today, along with the legal disclaimers on my behalf when it comes to talking about rates and payments, because the rates can change literally every single day, and they usually do change in one way or another. So it's important to know that. But the website will provide you all the information as well, along with you can schedule a showing with Bridget, or you can call me for a pre-approval. So the link will be in the caption as well to just look at the site we created for this house.
Correct. Yep. And, like you just said, these are estimated payments.
Right.
But
everybody's situation is different. And that's the thing. It is really hard to pinpoint where it's going to fit for most people because everybody's situation is different, whether it be their credit score, if their credit score is in the low 6s versus in the mid to upper 7s to the 8s, your rate's going to vary. Or if you make $5,000 a month, or if you make $15,000 a month, your rate's going to vary. So there's a couple of different options. The rates are not a one size fits all, and I feel like that's very important to mention.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be online website says my rate's going to be this. I want that. Well, again, there's a lot more involved in it. And is it a government loan? Or is it a first-time home buyer loan? You know, do you have poor credit? You know, so there's a lot of things involved in it. So the numbers we have today are going to be based on somebody with a credit score of 720 or higher.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. It's going to be 720 or higher for a credit score. If you're going to be above or below that, I mean, these options may vary. Please call me if you have any questions or want to know about payment options that may suit you directly. So that's my disclaimer.
Yep. So, okay, this house on 4th Street we're going to talk about. As I said, it's 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and 1,253 square feet.
Which is a decent sized house.
It is a decent size. It is in town.
Yep.
And it's close to the middle school. You know, Washington School is right down that way. Dairy Queen, you know, the market isn't far away. You can walk down to the brewery, the farmer's market on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right there. I mean, it's conveniently located. You've got everything within walking distance if you want to walk.
Right. Or you can scooter.
Yeah. So, Angie, the price of the home is $224,500.
Okay.
Okay. So, based off of that, if I have or somebody comes in with an FHA loan, okay, because this house will pass FHA.
And that's important to understand when you're looking at homes, if they will pass government financing, because as you said in other episodes, government loans do require more attention to detail. They care, the government loans, FHA, VA, USDA, they very much care about the health and safety of the home. So we're not saying that you can't buy a house that may have those issues, but there are some homes where they have very prominent issues that FHA will not accept.
Correct.
You know, and they're going to make you fix it. And most of the time, the sellers do not want to go through that process of fixing things, unless they're like minor things like replacing an outlet or, you know, something simple like that, and not a big deal. But if there's like bigger defects to the home, that FHA is like absolutely not, or VA, or any of them, a lot of times their agents will say that it will not pass government lending, and that is why.
Correct. And this one will pass government lending.
Yeah. Looking at affordability for this house, you have a couple different loan options, and I created this with 4 different options. The key ones being a lot of buyers are going to be looking at FHA loans, or they're going to be looking at conventional loans. And since this one does qualify for FHA, that's important to know. So FHA it's a great product, you know, and it's great for the right person because it helps create affordability for clients who may not have had that option before, you know, because they allow for lower credit scores, lower down payment. Sometimes they allow for higher ratios, like debt income ratios. So I guess generically speaking, so FHA requires you to put 3.5% down, which at this purchase price is $224,500. 3.5% down will be $78,588. This is saying, so I don't know if I want to go deep into what the interest rates are, because that can be, I mean, they're very, as I said, you know, earlier, they're very specific on you. And when you look at an interest rate, there's the interest rate and then there's the APR. So the APR is important to note that legally we have to disclose that to you. And you'll see that on all of your loan documents. You'll see that online. Like if you are like a rate shopping, it'll say this rate is based on, you know, a 720 credit score, 20% down, $10,000 a month, however they want to factor it in. But the APR shows you the fees associated with that rate. So, because sometimes you can shop online, like, hey, I can get a 5.5% interest rate over at ABC Mortgage. Why are you telling me my interest rate is 6.5%? Well, because ABC Mortgage is charging you $10,000 for your interest rate.
To buy it down.
Yeah. So that's considered buying your rate down. That's considered paying points for your interest rate. So it's important to know that sometimes the lowest rate is not the lowest cost. Keep that in mind. But FHA is saying roughly, and now when we look at payments, we look at principal and interest, homeowners insurance, property taxes, and mortgage insurance. So those 4 things are already factored into your monthly payments. And when we ask you what your budget is, if you see your budget, it's $2,000 a month. Does that include? Is that what you want to pay for your mortgage? Or is that like encompassing everything? Because we look at all 4 of those things when it comes to your qualifying payment.
More than likely, I would say they're just looking at like their monthly, like what it is, what their payment that they have to make every month is.
Yeah. Yeah, so your payment automatically includes those 4 things in it. So the taxes and the insurance is considered an escrow account. And then it's not like an extra fee to you. We're just taking 1/12 of your tax bill and 1/12 of your insurance bill, and we're having you pay that on your monthly payment. And then we put that into an escrow account, and then we pay the tax bill and the insurance bill when they come due. So it's kind of like helping you budget, basically. So it's our way of ensuring that your property is fully insured. And it's also the tax are paid because you can go into foreclosure on unpaid property taxes.
Yes.
So, figuratively speaking, what 3.5% down is guesstimating a monthly payment for FHA at about $1,700.
And that's on the purchase price of $224.
Yeah, $224,500
$224,500
at 3.5% down. Yes,
okay. That's doable.
And it's saying that the home insurance is $56 a month. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't see that number come across hardly ever. A lot of the insurance premiums seem to be a little bit more higher than that because think of all the disasters we've been having, all the wind, all the hail, the tornadoes, that affects insurance premiums.
Yes.
And I know at one point we do want to get an insurance agent on here to kind of talk about those kinds of things because it's important to know that affects the premium. So that's why you see them going out, even though you haven't done anything, that can affect, as a whole.
Yep.
So more often than not, I tell borrowers to forecast about $100 a month for insurance, which is to be a little bit more accurate, about $1,200 a year. I've seen them as high as $1,800, $2,000 a year, as low as, $800 a year. It really depends on who you use for your insurance, so you can shop around for that. But I would say $56 a month is probably pretty low for insurance. I would probably guesstimate more like $100. So then I would say probably FHA be around like $1,750.
Okay. Which again, that is a rent payment.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're already paying that in rent, I would absolutely call and see if you can get pre-approved.
Right.
Like a while ago, I was looking for an apartment to rent, and I was not qualified to rent an apartment. So, I was talking to you one day, like, I can't even get qualified for an apartment. And you're like, well, let's run your numbers. And you're like, well, you're pre-approved for a home loan. So keep that in mind, that even if you have been going to an apartment and they deny you, you probably could, I would absolutely check. I don't want to say you probably could, but you should absolutely check.
Always check, always verify.
Yeah, always make sure. But if apartments are turning you down, talk to a lender and see if you can get pre-approved. Because if you can afford that.
Right. But if you're paying $500 a month in rent right now, I can't help you with the mortgage payments are not going to be that low. Sorry, friends.
I miss those days.
Right. Yeah. So if you have super low rent, it's going to be a little bit higher, but keep in mind it includes more than just paying the mortgage back.
Correct.
So there's more involved in it, and when we say mortgage insurance, FHA requires it on the loan regardless of how much you put down. So even if you put 20% down, they still require it on the loan for at least 11 years. But anything less than 10% down is on there for the life of the loan. And that's not saying that you can't get rid of it. It's saying that if you wanted to go away, you have to refi out of FHA. Because even if you refinance into an FHA loan, they still require mortgage insurance because it's a government-backed loan. So you can get rid of it if you are conventional. So once you hit 80% equity or 20% equity in the house on the conventional side, it'll go away. So it's only a temporary thing. And then so talking about that, so on the conventional side, the minimum down payment for a first-time home buyer, which is somebody who has not owned a home in the last 3 years. So because sometimes borrowers be like, oh, I used to own a home, 15 years ago, went through divorce, or I moved from, California to Wisconsin, whatever you did. Like if you change your ownership where you no longer own a home, you've not owned a home for at least 3 years, you re-qualify as a first-time home buyer. So you have the option to re-qualify. It's not like I bought a house 20 years ago, I no longer am a first-time home buyer. I mean, if you've continued to buy homes, then you don't. But if you have been renting or if you moved in with your parents for a while, whatever you did, you can re-qualify as a first-time home buyer.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, so first-time home buyers, the minimum down is 3%. If you owned a home before, it's 5%. So again, not that huge of a difference. But if you put 3% down, right now the current conventional rates are sitting right around 6.625. APR is about 7.178. So I mean, and to be quite honest, we've been sitting in this bubble for a while. And and I just made a post on Facebook earlier this week about the rates, and they've been at the same position for the past 4 years.
Really?
Yeah, so he's been in the sixes for the past 4 years. So again, as you said before, those COVID rates are gone. So people still thinking that they're going to wait for the 3% interest rates. They're going to be waiting for a while. But again, so standard, and it's been, we've been around that range for a while. But then, so conventionally speaking, with the rate around there, is saying it may be around 1854. Again, I'd run up to 1900. To factor in
Again, that's
the different insurance.
a rent payment.
Yeah. Yeah. So, there are other loan programs that we have. We have ones where we can help offer assistance with down payment. We have conventional programs to help with that. We have government programs to offer that. If you are a veteran, there's no down payment required for veterans. It has 0% down payment requirements. If you look for like a rural home, it would be like a USD, but I don't know if this one would qualify. USD is address specific. So that's important to know, that they don't approve all properties for USD. It's based on the property address. But VA, so again, government backed, is 0% down. And that payment for VA is sitting around like $17.50 a month. And that's at no money down.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's rent. Like, call around all these apartment complexes and ask what rent is. It's insane how much rent is. Yeah. And if you're looking at like renting a house, because think of it, you're looking at an apartment, which is probably in a complex, is my guess. Or, like a side by side or a duplex, whatever. You only have maybe 900 square feet. Maybe. I'm probably being generous, and I don't really know how big apartments are. But this is an entire house. Oh. And you're not paying somebody else's mortgage. Correct. You're paying yours. Right. So then now you're getting equity in your house to help you upgrade at a later date and time. You know, it's money that you're putting in. Yep. So yeah, you have more rates or more. That was what I wanted to go over. Yeah. The other one is if you put 20% down, 20% down puts your payment down to $1,500 because you're putting 20% down, which is $45,000. If you have it, fantastic. Because then you don't have any mortgage insurance. But yeah, for most people, on average, and then when it comes to, I just want to note something too. So if you guys pull this up on our website and you look at this, I want to note something when it comes to the mortgage insurance. On the conventional side versus the FHA side. So conventional side, the mortgage insurance is based strictly on your credit score and your loan to value. Those are the two key factors. Debt to income ratio comes into effect too. But key factors are credit score and loan to value. The lower your score is, the higher the premium will be. The less you put down, the higher it'll be. The higher your debt is, the higher, because it's a risk-based insurance policy. Basically, you're taking out against you as a borrower. If you can afford to do it, I recommend borrowers putting 5% down. Okay. Because you'll see a huge difference in your mortgage insurance premium by putting 5% down versus 3% down. Okay, so at a purchase price of $224,500, what is 5%? I don't know. Oh, I thought you knew that. Well, $6,735 is 3% down. But if you look, so $22,500. So 10% would be $22,000. So then 5% would be like $11,000. There you go, folks. I'm calculator handicapped, so. Yeah, just guesstimating around probably like around like 11,000, 12, probably maybe like more like 12,000. Yeah, 12,000 ish would be 5% down. Okay. So versus 7,000. So I mean, it's a difference, but if you can swing it, it makes a really big difference. It'll help you on monthly, and then maybe you can start repaying that back where you took it from too. Yeah, and then like we said, for the APR too, if you're paying points to buy your interest rate down, which is something that we also offer, because a difference in rate can make a huge difference in your monthly payment. So keep that in mind too, that you do have the option to buy your rate down also, which is also a very helpful tool to know. But FHA, when they have mortgage insurance premiums, FHA's premiums are based on the loan amount itself. That's it. Okay. It's just based strictly on loan amount. Okay. So good to know. Those ones don't swing. So if you put 3.5% down, 5% down, it'll change because it's based on the loan amount. But other than that, there's no other. Right. So those ones are easy to calculate. It's just the private mortgage insurance on conventional loans, those ones can fluctuate based on you specifically. Okay. And again, I can pull quotes on all of this for anybody. So keep that in mind too. So yeah, if you're curious about this house, or if you're curious about if you could get pre-approved, reach out to Angie, get that process going. Because this house, I mean, it's priced just right. Yeah, it's cute. And It is.
Mhm.
I've done an open house in it. I've been in there a couple times. It is cute and it is very well cared for. All the updates were carefully thought out. There's like natural light everywhere. So it's cool. And you've got your first floor laundry. You've got first floor bath. You don't have a first floor bedroom. What?
I think in my personal opinion, if you have an upstairs, I would rather have my bedroom upstairs where my kids are. I don't know if I like the idea of having the primary on the main level and your kids are above you. I mean, that's fine, but I feel like if you have younger kids, that's like you gotta hoof it every time your kids are, they wake up crying or they need something, or so. I personally wouldn't like to have my bedroom where, the rest of the bedrooms are.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, this house, it is cute. It, it's not going to last, not much longer. So,
Right.
I think once people are done with vacations and stuff, it's going to go because of the price point and the updates that have been made to the house.
Mhm.
So, and again, conveniently located. So,
yeah, it's a good sized house,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So, if you're in the market to buy a house and this is in your budget, schedule a showing,
Or if you didn't realize that this was in your budget.
Correct.
If
Maybe
you
now
haven't,
you don't.
yeah, if you haven't even gone through the approval process, you had no idea what a payment would look like, because using the online calculators are not always the best.
No.
Like you and I just had a client that we did where he did the online, the online pre-approval, and they scared him away from buying a house.
Yeah, it took a long time.
And then when he finally called me and came in for the appointment, it's like, oh, so I can't afford. We had this happen twice. We had two borrowers, both of them, I mean, different situations, but both of them like, oh, I can't afford to buy a house. Like, there are so many options out there, so don't feel deterred that you can't afford to buy a house. I mean, if you truly don't want to make a payment, if you want to stick around like $1,000 a month, that's going to be really hard to find a house, because it's going to be under maybe closer to 100,000 for a house. And those houses are gone in an instant, because those are going to be investor purchases. They're going to be flip houses. And most of those homes, they're priced that way for a reason. They probably need a lot of love.
They do. They do. And some of the houses which we have found that are priced at that, even though you have a conventional loan.
Yeah, they still flag it.
I've had a couple like that that have been flagged, and I'm like, wait, this is a conventional loan.
But they don't oversee, they don't be like, everything is fine. They still care about safety.
Right.
And that's what happened with the one that we had, where the garage was about ready to kill anybody that walked in it because it's going to fall on top of them. So they still very much care about safety. They're just not as picky as government-backed loans are. But you still can't buy a home that has terrible ratings, like for safety. Like if there's not livable, also is a big issue. The house has to have running water, has to have electric, has to have plumbing, has to have a heat source,
or not a roof, ceiling.
Yeah, it has to be livable for it to qualify for a conventional. It has to have a kitchen. Like, you can't buy a house that's been gutted. Like, I mean, you can get like a renovation loan to fix it, but you can't just buy it with a conventional loan and then live in it as it is. It doesn't. Conventional loans don't mean they'll finance anything.
Back to the ceiling comment, because I said it has to have a ceiling, and I know most of you are like, duh.
Obviously.
But I did have a buyer that bought a home where the seller just had plastic up, and then they took the plastic down, and it was just like rafters and whatnot. And a conventional loan, the appraiser flagged it and would not fund on the loan until there was an actual ceiling.
We've had conventional appraisers flag missing smoke detectors.
Oh, yes, that's
right. And missing CO2 detectors, because that is state law. You have to have them in your house. So it doesn't matter what loan program you have, they will flag those. I mean, so something as simple as that, like, what's a big deal? Like, that's a big deal, especially CO2 detectors. Like, people don't, a lot of houses don't have those, but those are required, and they're very important to have because it's an odorless gas that can kill you. So it's important to have that in your home.
Correct.
In case you have a gas leak that you don't know about. We don't want your house to blow up, so we care about you and the house.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what we have today. I hope you enjoyed like the pictures that.
Yeah, I hope it helps show a little bit more on just affordability in the market currently, because I think that's important to understand.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope you fell in love with a house today.
Yeah.
And you realize that, wait, maybe I can afford it.
Yeah.
So reach out, let's get you into a home.
Yeah.
Before fall, and you can decorate with pumpkins and drink pumpkin spice latte.
Yuck. I like pumpkin spice lattes.
Do you like pumpkin bars?
I like pumpkin pie. That's about it.
Good to know.
I'm more of an apple person.
I'm more of a pickle person.
And pickles. Apples and pickles. Pickled apples.
I love pumpkin spice everything. I love fall. I love
fall, and I like pumpkins, but I don't like to consume them.
Interesting. So yeah, buy a house,
And again, the link will be in the description if you want to look at the website that will be created. That will have all of this information on it too. It's all nice to look at, but it gives you a true breakdown of everything on there. It does not give you a breakdown on closing costs, because those are also very specific in regard to fees. So feel free to reach out with any questions you guys have.
Yeah, absolutely. Any questions, no judgment, no nothing. We're here to help. So.
Yep. All right.
Perfect.
Well,
right.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.